The BMT Astoria Shuttle ran along the Astoria line from Queensboro Plaza to Ditmars Boulevard. Before 1949, platforms on the Astoria line were designed for IRT cars, and since the BMT only had a track connection to their wider subway line, trains of BMT elevated cars ran as shuttles to and from Queensboro Plaza, where there was a transfer to subway trains. When joint Queens service ended in 1949, subway through service replaced the shuttle. The BMT Flushing Shuttle ran along the Flushing line from Queensboro Plaza to Main Street. Platforms on the Flushing line were designed for IRT cars, and since the BMT only had a track connection to their wider subway line, trains of BMT elevated cars ran as shuttles to and from Queensboro Plaza, where there was a transfer to subway trains. When joint Queens service ended in 1949, the IRT took over the line. The BMT Culver Shuttle ran along the western portion of the Culver line from 9th Ave to Ditmas Ave. After the IND took over service on the eastern portion of the line, the BMT could only run trains to Ditmas Ave, and in 1959 all BMT Culver trains ran as shuttles, with a transfer to the West End line at 9th Ave and to IND trains using the rest of the Culver line at Ditmas Ave. The western portion of the line closed in 1975 due to the fiscal crisis and low ridership. The BMT West End Shuttle first ran along the West End line from 36th Street to Coney Island during Sundays when through service did not run. Later, during the Manhattan Bridge project, shuttle trains ran from Pacific Street to Coney Island on weekends. Transfers were available at Coney Island, 36th Street, and Pacific Street to the rest of the BMT. The BMT Franklin Ave Shuttle runs along the Franklin Ave line from Fulton Street to Prospect Park. The line was initially used by Fulton L trains to access the Brighton line, but when a subway connection was made during the dual contracts and the Fulton L closed immediately after unification, Brighton-Franklin through service eventually ended, leaving the line as a shuttle, with transfers to the BMT, IND, and later the IRT. It was heavily deteriorating in the 1980s, but was renovated in 1998, with one station being closed. The BMT Nassau St Shuttle ran during the temporary closure of the Williamsburg Bridge, along the Nassau Street line from Essex Street to Broad Street. During rush hour, it was assisted by trains from Chambers Street to Brooklyn via the West End line. Transfers were available to many other lines at Essex Street, Canal Street, Chambers Street, and Fulton Street. The BMT Myrtle Av Shuttle ran along part of the Myrtle Av line while the line's junction with the Broadway-Brooklyn line was rebuilt. Trains ran from Metropolitan Ave to Wyckoff Ave, where there was a transfer to the Canarsie line. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for Part 2.